see me looking over here and over there, it's because I have my notes of each book and stuff over here, and then like my rating and etc. over here. But I want to say I think 4 of these books were on my Kindle, and I have it right here for like tapping and stuff, and I'll put pictures up so you guys can see the covers and stuff. But the first book in June that I read was actually a fan fiction, and I don't know if any of you out there like fan fictions, but I used to be obsessed with them, and specifically only one kind. It would be like the Hermione from Harry Potter, the Draco and Hermione. In high school, I used to love reading them, and I go back to them from time to time. But the only one that I really rewatch about 1,000 times is Manacled. Oh my gosh, I can't recommend that more to anybody. It's so good. I'm obsessed with it. But the first book that I read in June was Breathment and Battle Scars, and it was by Onyx and Elm. It's a fan fiction about Draco and Hermione, but it's set after the Second Wizarding War, and it kind of just explores the trauma that they both have and how everybody pretty much almost goes back to normal after the war, and she doesn't understand how or why. I gave that one a 5-star, let me tell you. It was so good. I will say it's very... I think I just heard my flat iron ball in my bathroom, but that's besides the point. I want to say it's really dark, and it's depressing, I mean, obviously, but it ends good. It just takes a minute. The ending really pissed me off, I will say, but it's so good. It ends up being amazing. Oh, I can't get over that book enough. The next book that I read was The Ballad of the Songbird and Snakes. Now let me tell you, let's just get into it. I am a huge Hunger Game fan. Like, I mean, I'm obsessed with Hunger Games. You will catch me probably opening day of Sunrise on the Reaping. But anyways, not the point. The point is, it took me a really long time to finish this book, and I don't know why. I just, for some reason, did not. I liked it, but I feel like it took way too long for what I really wanted to see and stuff. And once I got to the ending, it ended up being fantastic. But it just took so long. But it's pretty much, it's 64 years before Katniss and her games, and Benham is still recovering from the dark days. Young Coriolanus, he comes from a prestigious family in the capital, but they're impoverished, and he ends up being a mentor for the Hunger Games, and he wants to win a scholarship which could restore his standing and him being back in the capital's graces, I would say. I don't really want to spoil any of it, but he gets assigned to Lucy, which is from District 12, and once I got to the ending, it was insane. Like, truly, I was so keen on it. I do wish the movie didn't take out certain things. It's a slow burn movie, for sure. It's not really a romance, but it's more like a character development. So if you really kind of like those kind of books, more dystopian kind of vibes, I would recommend it. I'm sure most people have probably seen the movie or read it because it was so popular. And the Hunger Games just is popular. So, but I gave that one, I think, a 5. Let me check. Yeah, I gave it a 5. Other than the fact that the beginning was so slow for me, like the middle more, and then it got to the ending, I definitely gave it a 5. It was good. All her books are good. I recommend reading it's not me. I did not do that. It is because I buy thrifted books because they're cheaper. And why would I buy a $16 book? No offense. I mean, to people that do that, but I just cannot do that. This is Ransom by Lewis Duncan. Oh, I guess I should have said Ballad of the Songbird and Snakes is by Suzanne Collins. Should have said that. If you want to look into that, I'll put the titles up. But this is by Lewis Duncan, and it's pretty much the lives of 5 teenagers. I'm trying to decide if I want to read the back of this or this, but it's pretty much 5 teenagers are held captive, and they have to rely on their families to pretty much pay a ransom to get them back. It's 2 brothers. Their family's frantic to find them, and a loner whose uncle doesn't even know who's missing, an army brat whose family will never be able to raise enough money, and a cheerleader who can't count on her stepdad. Now, I gave this book, I think, a 4, but it was like more of a 3.5, 4. I will say, I think this book was so good. Like, it's a simple read, but I wish that it ended up. I wish the ending didn't end the way it did. I wish it told me what happened, or like it told me you find out what happens, but I wish you found out what happens to the people, the kids. Like, I want to know so much more information about what was inside their heads. And I get maybe because it's such a small book that they didn't really feel like putting all that in there, but I wish that we learned about all of that because it was good, but I wish it had more. And I'm wanting to read, I know you did last summer by this author, but I'm curious if it's also a short book and doesn't have more details in it like this one didn't. So I don't know. Also, if you hear that squeaking, it's my chair. I'm sorry. But other than that, it was good, and I totally recommend. But I mean, I'd recommend any book. Reading is just, you gotta find what you like. For the next book that I read, this one was another thriller. I'm in my thriller era, kind of. I went through a huge fantasy and romance phase, and then I just couldn't get back into it. I don't know. The next book is Dear Daughter by Elizabeth Little. I'm sorry about the sticker. I wish places wouldn't put them on there. This one actually was very good to me, but halfway through, I kind of just figured out who the killer was. So, like, everything just made sense that it was who that person was. But this is former it-girl Janie Jenkins. It's a sly, stunning, and fresh out of prison. 10 years ago, she was incarcerated for the murder of her mother, a high society beauty known for good looks and her rich husbands. Now released on a technicality, Janie goes undercover in a sleepy South Dakota town to chase down the one lead she has on her mother's death. The only problem, Janie doesn't know if she's the killer she's looking for. So, like, I really thought it was interesting because you don't read many. Well, I guess I've never read a mystery book where the person does not remember anything about the night in which it happened. I think I've read one Frida McFadden book like that, but I can't remember. But I loved her character, and I loved all the other characters in this book. Just the way that they were all presented was amazing, in my opinion. Like, this was definitely a really good read. I just also think I loved her character because she's so witty, and in my opinion, I love characters like that. Also, I put my Goodreads, and I will put my Goodreads in the description if you guys want to check that out. The next book I read, I'm actually reading the second one right now, is The Stolen Heir by Holly Black. I'm reading The Prisoner's Throne right now. So that'll be next this month, but next month. Oh, sorry. Video. Sorry. Kinda chaotic up in here. This was so good. I have beef with it, Loki, but it was so good. So let's tell you what it's about. 8 years have passed since I guess if you haven't read the Cruel Prince series, you need to. 8 years have passed since the Battle of the Serpent, but in the icy north, Lady Nor of the Court of Teeth has reclaimed the Ice Needle Citadel. There she is using an ancient relic to create monsters of stick and snow who will do her bidding and exact her revenge. Surin, child queen of the Court of Teeth and the one person with power over her mother, fled to the human world. There she lives in a feral in the woods. Lonely and still haunted by the merciless torments she endured in the Court of Teeth, she bides her time by releasing mortals from foolish bargains. She believes herself forgotten until the storm hag Bogdana chases her through the night streets. Surin is saved by none other than the Prince Oak, the heir of Elfheim. She was once promised to marriage, and who she has resented for years. Now 17. Oak is charming, beautiful, and manipulative. He's on a mission that will lead him into the Ice Needle Citadel, and he wants Surin's help. But if she agrees, it will mean guarding her heart against the boy she knew and the prince she cannot trust, as well as confronting all horrors she thought she left behind. That was quite an introduction. Sorry, y'all. I truly loved this book. Oak was really a disappointment in my opinion. Ren loved her character. I will say though, I think because it's in her point of view, we don't really see Oak like the way that he thinks, I guess. And I'm reading The Prisoner's Throne right now, and it's in Oak's point of view. So like this is in hers, and then that's in Oak, and you really get to see the difference of how they both feel about each other, and it's insane. But I loved the characters. I really liked that it tied back to the Cruel Prince and they're in here and all that. I gave this a 3.5. So 3.5 out of 5. Which you're probably thinking, I thought you liked it. I did. But it kind of just, I think because Ren is so calm and collected and Oak is so, I feel as though this plot was just very interesting for me. But nonetheless, it was so good. I actually think I got this copy from my friend on my birthday. Yeah. She's so cute. I want to hear everybody's opinions on hardback versus paperback. I am more of a paperback person. But gifts, if someone's willing to give me a book, I'll definitely take hardback. But I am not that person that cherishes their books, and I know that's probably going to come off as like, but I love to bend the spines. I love to flip the books over like that. Like, I'm obsessed with doing that. Okay. The last book I read was on my Kindle, and it was This Is Me Letting You Go by, I want to say Heidi Pribe. If I'm saying it wrong, someone correct me, but my Goodreads linked. And it's pretty much just like a collection of essays and reflections on love, heartbreak, emotional healing, letting go, as it says in the title. And I in no means have to let someone go right now, or it could be letting go in general, but it really, really made me see insights and see my struggles and what I have felt before, and just like even a version it's kind of like reading letters from someone who understands heartbreak, and it kind of blends psychology, self-awareness, and self-love together. And I love that because a lot of people tend to, when it comes to like heartbreak and stuff like that, it's more emotional over logic. And it's interesting to see